speed to the city streets. We began to feel the
Three
fire.
Graves, One Heart, a story by Oakham Stories.
Tall buildings as the chemicals they take us.
Grief doesn't knock before it enters. It crashes through the walls of your life, uninvited and merciless. I am Adunni, a 24-year-old woman from Kogi State, Nigeria, and this is not just a story. It is a scar carved deep into my soul. Life taught me to smile through pain, but nothing could have prepared me for the series of tragedies that would unfold in the early months of 2021. The world kept turning, while mine came to a halt.
Two hearts running wild.
It all began on January 29th, 2021. That day, the sun rose like any other. There was nothing to suggest it would be the beginning of a nightmare. I had just finished washing clothes when I received a call. The caller ID showed it was my neighbour in Uyo. I answered casually, unaware of the storm heading my way. Adunni, something has happened. Tunde has been in an accident. He was rushed to the hospital. My hands went cold. My brother Tunde had taken our mother's car to travel from Kogi to Uyo to visit our dad, who was a police officer posted there. I stood frozen, my legs buckling beneath me. My voice trembled as I asked for details, but there were none. Just the raw fact. My brother was unconscious and in critical condition. My mother left Kogi for Uyo on the 1st of February. She didn't think twice. Tunde was her only son, and she was not going to let him lie alone in a strange hospital bed. Before she boarded the bus, she held my hand tightly and said, "Take care of yourself, Adunni. I'll keep you posted." 3 days passed. Tunde remained in a coma. On the 4th day, my mum called me in tears. "Adunni, he woke up, but he has lost his memory. He doesn't recognize me or even know who he is." I sobbed. I couldn't bear the thought. My brother, my childhood companion, reduced to a stranger in his own body. My mum stayed with him day and night. She slept in a chair by his bed. She called often to give me updates. Each time her voice was tired but full of faith. "He's getting better, Adunni, slowly." He smiled today. Weeks passed. Tunde's memory returned gradually. The joy in my mum's voice returned too. She told me to go to the market and buy her a Thanksgiving outfit. She wanted to thank God in church for healing her son. I bought her a beautiful lace material in soft peach and gold, her favourite colours. She was excited. I imagined how radiant she would look, standing before the congregation to give testimony. On February 28th, they left Uyo, my mum, Tunde and my dad. She called me around 4 p.m. "We stopped to eat pounded yam. Your dad is driving. We'll soon be home. Prepare something sweet for us." I smiled. We joked. I told her to bring my pounded yam. That was the last time I ever heard her voice. An hour later, I called. No answer. I tried again, and again. For 2 hours straight, I dialed her number, then my dad's, then Tunde's. No response. Then a stranger called. "There has been an accident. Come quickly." I ran without thinking. The scene I arrived at broke me. Our car was a wreck, twisted metal, shattered glass, people everywhere. My mother died on the spot. My father was unconscious. Tunde was alive but wounded. My heart stopped. I screamed until my voice disappeared. I held her lifeless hand, her body covered in a white sheet. My world fell apart in that moment. There is no word for the pain of seeing the woman who gave you life lying lifeless. We buried her 2 weeks later. I returned the Thanksgiving outfit. The vendor looked at me and I broke down. Now I had to care for my father, who was in a hospital bed, barely speaking. Tunde and I took turns staying with him. My dad, the strong police officer I had always looked up to, now fragile and dependent. In April, Tunde told me, "Adunni, I'm going to Abuja. I need to find a job. We need money for Dad's treatment." I hugged him goodbye. 5 hours later, my phone rang again. Another unknown number. "Your brother was in an accident. He didn't make it." I fell to the ground, screaming. Tunde, my Tunde, the one I protected and fought with and loved beyond words, gone. When I told my dad, he cried quietly. Then he stopped eating. He became silent. Within weeks, he died. In the space of 2 months, I lost my mother, my brother, and my father. I was alone in the family house. The rooms echoed with silence. Mama's perfume still lingered in her room. Tunde's jokes still echoed in the hallway. Daddy's chair still creaked in the sitting room. People came to visit. They brought food, words, prayers. But the nights were the hardest. The quiet was unbearable. I cried until my body ached. I shouted at God. I asked why. Then one night, I picked up a pen and started writing. I wrote letters to them. "Mama, I wore your wrapper today. I wish you were here. Tunde, your shoes are still by the door. Should I pack them away? Daddy, I saw your badge today. You were so proud of it. I miss your stories." Writing helped, a little. I got a small teaching job. The children reminded me of innocence. They asked curious questions. One said, "Auntie, why are you always sad?" I smiled. I also volunteered at the hospital. I sat with patients, prayed with them. I met a woman who lost her son in a fire. We held hands and cried together. Pain recognizes pain. I started a blog. I shared my story. People read and reached out. They shared their grief. Their words strengthened me. I found a new purpose, helping others heal through my story. I planted sunflowers by their graves. Mama loved yellow. Tunde said sunflowers face the sun. I like to believe they still face the light. Every month I visit. I talk, I sing, I cry, I pray. I also live. I cook, I laugh, I write, I grow. Some nights I still break down, but I always rise again. Because I survived, God has become my everything, my anchor, my comfort. Months later, I began studying counseling. I wanted to understand trauma and grief. I met others on similar paths. We formed a support group. We cried. We laughed. We rebuilt ourselves. I started giving talks in churches and schools, sharing my story. I wanted to teach people about resilience and the strength of the human spirit. A young girl once hugged me after a talk. She whispered, "You made me believe I can survive too." That day, I knew my pain wasn't wasted. Then something happened. One Sunday after service, a woman walked up to me. She said she had lost her son and husband in a car accident too. Her name was Miriam. We began talking every week. Then we started visiting hospitals together. We called ourselves the Comfort Sisters. Eventually, we organized grief retreats. We invited widows, orphans, and accident survivors. We brought counselors, sang songs, shared meals, and cried under the open sky. Some called us angels in disguise. But we were just broken women finding healing in community. I also began writing a book, a memoir. I titled it Still I Rise. It chronicled my journey, the dark days, and the hope that followed. When it was published, I received letters from across Nigeria. People poured out their own stories. I realized how much pain walks beside us daily, unseen. Eventually, a film producer reached out. He wanted to adapt my story into a documentary. I agreed, not for fame, but so more people could understand that behind every smiling face, there might be a scar. During this time, I met a man named Seyi. He was kind, patient, and a widower himself. He never rushed me. He read my blog, attended my workshops, and encouraged me. I found myself smiling more when he was around. After 2 years, we got married in a quiet ceremony under a tree. Just close friends, a choir, and my sunflower bouquet. I wore a simple gown and carried a locket with pictures of Mama, Tunde, and Dad. Now, I'm a mother myself. I have a daughter named Hope and a son named Tunde. Every night, before bed, I tell them stories of their grandparents. I show them pictures. I teach them to love, to forgive, to hope. Because life is hard, but love makes it bearable. This is my story. A story of grief, but also of grace. Say a word of prayer for me. And never forget, this world is deeper than we can ever imagine.